USF1, race 1 in the books. Mando Lando, Max, 6 rookies. We're coming at you with it.
Welcome to the United States of Formula One. Nicky.
Cookie.
Round 1, Australian GP in the books.
The Louis Vuitton Australian Grand Prix, and it was one to remember.
It was one hell of a race.
I think sometimes the first race of the year, it's a little boring, it's a little clunky. I think the rain
Helped?
I would say normally you'd think it would hurt because it would make things maybe a little slower, but it created chaos. In a good way, though. There were some racers that handled it well. There were some who did not handle it well, obviously, a general group.
So you got the rookies.
The rookies.
We're going to go with the rookies.
Which makes sense.
I want to start off by your dark horse, who is Isaac Hajar.
Okay. I see where this is going. Continue.
How do you crash on the formation lap?
Now listen. You have to have a dark horse of the season. I think the Red Bulls, the Racing Bulls,
yes.
I think are going to be a surprise team this year. I know they got 0 points in the first race. We'll get into that. Yuki could have done more. But yeah, Hajar, I get it. Yeah. Now listen, it's a formation lap, but it's not just a standard formation lap. It's raining.
Yes.
Did he have his intermediates on?
No, he had his intermediate time.
Okay, because I remember there was a couple that didn't in that formation lap. I can't remember who, but okay. So he is hitting the throttle, trying to warm up the tires, and the announcer goes, when he saw the crash, he said, I think he's trying to warm up his tires. You can't do that.
Not right there.
Not right there. And what's he say?
I can't remember. What did he say?
He said, that's why they call them rookies.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. The kid's, he crashed. He feels terrible. He keeps rubbing it in. He's walking off the track. He's crying.
He was crying like a baby bull.
That is perfect. That is so perfectly corny. I love it. But who came to console him? You would think, maybe someone on the Racing Bulls would come console him, or maybe a family member of his. Who consoles Isaac Hajar?
First, let me see that vehicle. Let me see. There it is.
Okay.
That is ridiculous. Now, he hit the wall, and they're like, I think he's trying to put it in gear. His spoiler was 90 degrees the opposite direction. So
yeah, there was going in a circle if he tried to get back on the track.
I feel bad. First race, a lot of pressure on the guy. I don't want to talk too badly about him unless he does the same thing next week. So, but yeah, he comes off. The first person to console him is Anthony Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton.
Louis' father.
Yeah. I mean,
which I didn't understand. So obviously he's a Ferrari guy. His son's for Ferrari, formerly Mercedes. What draws him into a Baby Bulls, a Racing Bulls?
So what he said is it just reminded him of when Lewis was a rookie and he crashed it on a couple formation laps. Actually, I don't know if that to be true at all.
Could be.
I think, when you're a rookie like that, you're going to crash a lot more. So I think he was just like, hey, you have a long career in F1.
Yeah.
Hopefully, don't take this too much to heart. Now, the announcers were really laying in there.
They were brutal.
Hajar.
They were brutal on him.
Yeah.
They kept teasing him. They kept egging him on. You can't do that. That's why they call them rookies. I thought they were kind of being dicks.
I think I heard one of them say, cry, rookie. I mean, it got bad.
I don't know if it went that far, but yeah, I didn't like that at all. I was a little bit, but yeah, for Anthony Hamilton to have that empathy and to say, hey, my son's been there, done that. This is your first race. It was raining. That's what I'm saying. I am not saying we're throwing in the towel on Isaac. I just think it's raining and all the rookies struggled except one, but we'll get into that.
Yeah, well, and so the only thing that was bad about this is this delayed the race for 15 minutes.
Yeah, we're already so excited. Formation lap, 15 more minutes because you made a good point. Because it's a street course.
Yeah.
It's not mapped out as well to clean stuff up. You're
all the equipment is on the opposite side of the track, depending on wherever this crash is going to be.
Right.
So we finally get going. 15 minutes formation lap. No incidents on that.
Second time around.
So and Jack Doohan, right before turn 6, so he doesn't even make it a lap. wrecks his car as well. I mean,
No, that's not Doohan, is it?
That's Doohan.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah, so he, another rookie, basically almost before the race even starts.
Yeah.
Again,
Lap
2
one.
rookies out. Now, the most surprising thing is our man behind the cameras, one of his favorite racers of all time, Carlos Sainz, who is a veteran. Also, under safety car, not racing.
Right.
Not racing at all, puts this into the wall.
So we're 1 lap in.
Yes.
We have 3 wrecks. We have 1 in the formation lap, 1 in the first lap, and 1 during the safety car
Yes.
of the first wreck from Doohan is now Sainz. So going back to Doohan, I think Hajar, for me, I'm struggling. That was my dark horse. You kind of hit that. You're the one who says Doohan's going to be out of there, right? Isn't
Yeah.
that-
So yeah, I said by the 4th or 6th race, Colin Pinto is going to take his seat. Now
It's a good start for that, but I think they have to, because of the rain, you have to give these guys a little bit of slack.
you have to, and I didn't want to see that. You had 2 Aussies in the race, Oscar Piastri, Oscar Pistorius, and Jack Doohan. So the 2 Australians I wanted to see do good in the race.
And 1 is out in lap 1.
Yeah. So as far as
But Sainz now, so now you have a veteran. You have a stud from Ferrari who's supposed to come.
yeah, and kill it on Williams, which he would have, but
Where did he qualify? Do you remember? I don't remember that. I thought he qualified pretty decent. Do you remember that, Boogie?
I cannot
I don't remember.
yeah, I cannot remember. But I mean, he was. Doesn't matter because he
Boogie
was
did
out.
give me a little snippet off camera. He did say that this is Sainz' 8th retirement, so 8th time he's out of the race, whether it's a wreck or an issue with the car in the opening lap. The 2nd all-time in F1.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the first all-time to retire in the first lap?
Your main man, Nico Hulkenberg.
No, that's not because of wrecks. He's done it 12 times.
Yes.
It's probably 11 and a half or because he was in a Haas shitbag.
Yep.
Speaking of them, they're terrible. We'll get into that as well.
So fun fact, just throw it out there. There is supposedly the Australian curse.
Okay.
Too. So the person that has won the race the year before, the next year does not finish
It's
the
a
race.
DNF.
So Vettel, Verstappen, Carlos Sainz, basically that's just every time they just don't finish the
So
race.
you're saying next year?
Next year, Lando Norris, if this curse is going to happen, Lando Norris would not finish the race.
And I would say that's crazy. It's not going to happen. But Verstappen, like you said, yeah, he won 2 years ago. Last year didn't finish. Sainz.
Yeah.
Did we have any more wrecks?
Yeah, so you had another 2 more rookies. So 2 more rookies, Borletto, Liam Lawson, and Alonso all did not finish.
So Alonso
this
wrecked
race.
in lap 34, I think.
Yep.
So who's Alonso and Sainz were the only 2 non-rookies,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then you had Bortoletto in, he was the same time, I think it was lap 47, the same time as Liam Lawson, right?
Yes.
So that's when the rain started back up.
But they did come out and say Bortoletto was a suspension issue. So that technically wasn't his fault as a rookie if you have a suspension. So, but Lawson, that was 100%.
Well, there was
his
10
fault.
laps to go, and they had shifted everyone from the intermediates to the hard tires.
Yes.
Some were hard. I think there were maybe some mediums out there.
A couple mediums for Stappen.
But they're all
put mediums
slicks.
on.
Everybody's in slicks, and there was a chance of rain.
They were
and then
hoping
all
it
of a
was
s-
skirting.
And then the rain comes, and immediately Lawson wrecks, Bortoletto, Piastri, and Lando.
Lando,
So you have guys in first and second that come out and they wiggle.
they go through the gravel. Piastri loses it, almost wrecks into Verstappen, which I know that you were kind of hoping that was going to happen. Gets stuck in the grass. For a little bit, they basically said that he was done, he was out.
It was crazy. Yeah, because he followed Lando into the gravel, but he got a little deeper. So
Yep.
Lando was able to save it. He overcorrected. He's deep in the grass, and he's spinning.
Yep.
He was in the grass for a minute,
Well, he went a lap down, so he was in the grass for, over a minute.
slowly going backwards.
Yeah, so they basically, in that, put it in reverse, treat it as like a front-wheel drive car.
Right.
Get it out, which he did. And, I mean, everybody was cheering for him. Luckily, that was the best thing he could have done, because once he gets out, that's when the Bortoletto crash happens, where he's able to get his lap back.
Yes. So basically, you're thinking he's retired. He's in the grass. He's stuck.
Yep.
He gets out. He's a lap back. It's over. But because we now have that safety car with 10 laps to go, he's able to get in front of the safety car, get that lap back, and then what's he do?
He drives like the man.
He goes from 14th, because, at that point there were six retirements, 14 left, 14th to 9th.
To 9th. Passes Hamilton on the final lap to get that 9th position.
And I don't want to hone too much on someone who finishes 9th, but those 2 points for McLaren.
Huge.
When it could have easily been 0.
Yeah.
Would he have liked to have finished 1-2? Absolutely. Yeah. But that's not how it always happens.
Oh.
And I thought he recovered well. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, and Verstappen was right on Norris's ass for the last 2 laps. I thought that there was a chance that could happen.
There was a couple DRS zones where he got real tight.
Real close.
And Lando played great defense. I don't know if it was the rain that made Max be a little more conservative. I don't know if Lando's finally learning how to hold off Max. He's getting better and better.
The car, I think it's
the car as well.
The car as well. So, I mean,
that's what Max would say, because Max always blames on the car. Max, it's never his fault. It's always the car. Always.
So I'm going to say one of my biggest surprises, and I didn't see this coming, was actually Lance Stroll finishing in there.
Let me scoot out of the way so they can see that. Yeah. Stroll finishing 6th.
Yeah.
As much as Boogie dislikes him and I talk smack, I had him finishing last, 20th out of 20 racers at the end of the season. That's a good point. That's a good surprise. My biggest surprise, I mean, come on.
Of course, Nico.
Huge.
Huge.
7th place, 7th place. Okay, well, it's with Kick Sauber, and in race 1 out of 24, he got more points than Kick Sauber got in all of 2024 in one race. Do you think they're happy they signed him?
Yeah, absolutely.
And do you think Haas is happy that they let him go? Because how many points did Haas get this week? I can't remember.
0.
That's right. Behrman and Ocon said, we're going to finish. Now, they didn't wreck.
No.
But they did finish 13th and 14th. So they were the last place of the team, the 2 that actually completed the race.
What about Ferrari? Because Hamilton, I think on his debut, did terrible. He had DRS behind Albon for 20 plus laps and could not pass him.
I was very surprised. Now, Albon's someone I think we forget.
Yes.
With Williams, I think he's just getting. Now, he finished 5th and he was momentarily up to 4th because of a penalty that they then took away from Antonelli.
Yeah.
But a 5th place finish for Williams for Albon, we're kind of ignoring like he's a nobody when everyone expects Sainz to be getting those points, right?
Yeah.
But you say with Hamilton, if you're going to be with Ferrari and you're going to make that change from Mercedes and you're this stud, 7-time champion.
You have a Ferrari. You should be better than a Williams vehicle. So now, Antonelli was able to pass Albon on the last lap. I mean, absolutely no problem. Last lap, last turn to get into his 4th, and he's a rookie.
Does it in 1 lap, then a Ferrari veteran should be able to do it in 20 laps.
Yeah, they were kind of on the radio a little hard, and Hamilton is not used to.
They were on
the
him.
Engineers.
He kept saying, "Let me race, let me do my thing," and they kept saying, "You're in the zone," and he said, "I'm not close enough. I'm not close enough." Also reminded me of like a gun shy, almost like in Top Gun.
Yeah.
When he doesn't want to take the shot, he's like, "Take the shot, Maverick." He's
I don't want to do it.
I'll shoot when I'm goddamn good and ready. I feel like Hamilton's not quite ready to embrace that Ferrari yet.
No, and the Ferrari looked horrible all weekend. So let's go into drivers' standings.
Okay.
Now,
your boy Mando
Lando's on top.
Lando, and it's the first time in a while that pole sitter at Australia wins the race.
It's about the first time, and I think they said almost 1,000 days that Verstappen hasn't been leading the world championship.
Yeah,
I mean, that's ridiculous.
That's insane. First of all, let's give some props to Verstappen.
I know it's one race.
It's not like he fell off. He finished 2nd. He's right. Next race, he could easily be in 1st again. I think Norris, he held it the entire race except for that brief moment when there was that change from slicks back into intermediates. Yeah. He made the decision to pit first, so he kind of went back to 6th or something, but immediately recovered whenever.
Because everybody else had to pit too.
Yes. So they made that. Then that's McLaren making great decisions again. Yeah. Ferrari gambled when to change tires, and they were up to like 3rd and 4th, but that immediately fizzled.
Well, when you have Albon, Stroll, and Hülkenberg
all in front of
all of the Ferraris, it's a little. I know it's one race, and Ferrari's going to be up there. They're going to fix their car or whatever's going on.
When Kick Sauber beats both of your racers, and it wasn't because of a wreck or an issue. That's Boogie wants us to mention that this race was called the rookie spin.
Yes.
I think that's so clever because there's 6 rookies, which I think is crazy.
Yeah.
And they're all spinning out because it was raining. Do you guys get it? The rookie spin. I like it. So now to the team standings, which is pretty logical. McLaren obviously up there. Most of those points from your boy, Mando Lando. But Piastri grinding out those 2.
Yeah, since Antonelli got pushed into that 4 position and Piastri raced his ass off to get P9, they are now tied.
27-27. So Mercedes is more of a balanced team, finishing 3-4, podium and 4th.
Yep.
And Lando getting most of those points from McLaren. And then Red Bull,
that was all
Max.
Verstappen.
Lawson looked terrible all week.
Yep.
Well, he wrecked in, what was it? Didn't he wrecked in P1?
No, he just hit the wall.
Okay.
He just hit the wall. So luckily it wasn't nothing major.
Okay.
So it's his first race in the Red Bull, so hopefully he does better. My biggest thing, I think, well, not biggest, but Yuki Tsunoda, P5, doesn't even finish in the top 10.
He qualifies 5th, and he stayed up there the whole race.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the end and all that late chaos that he spun out too.
Yeah.
And it looked like he was going to get some great points, and I felt like, Hajar killed me for the Racing Bulls, my prediction of them finishing 5th, right behind Red Bull this year. And I thought he was going to hold on, and Yuki, he just fell apart at the end. But I get it. So, again.
Well, we're going to start a new segment. Okay, we want to start a new segment next week.
Starting next week.
Let us know. What we want to do is driver of the day, who obviously is, we'll talk about this in a second. Driver of the day, rookie of the day, loser of the day, team of the week, and loser team of the week.
So we'll still we'll try to immediately put out our recap of the race, but maybe midweek we'll put out kind of a 5 highlights of best and worst racer.
Yes.
Best rookie, which is great because there's 6 of them, so there's a lot to talk about, and then best and worst team. I like it.
So driver of the day, you would think, I would say Lando Norris, but no, I would. You got to give it.
Are you going with Nico as well?
I'm going with Nico. You have to. You had 24 races last year, and in Qatar, which would have been, I think, the 23rd race.
Second to last race.
Zhou Guanyu got points.
He got 10th, didn't he? Or was it 9th?
I believe he got 4 points, so I think he...
Maybe 8th. Okay.
Yeah. So in the very first race, Nico takes an ass car, basically, and puts it in 7th place.
We've said that about Nico. He's been with Haas. He's been with Kick Sauber. He is... If you put him in a McLaren, put him in a Mercedes, in Max's car.
I want to test it one time.
I would be curious. He puts together scraps points in these shitbag cars.
He had an average finishing of last year, I think, was P7 in a Haas. So if he can maintain points for a Kick Sauber, that I think...
Somebody's got to give him a shot. I mean, it's just getting up there in age.
Well, I think Audi, they're going to put a lot of money. I think this team is, once they are Audi... I think they could be contenders for...
But it might take a learning curve,
It could.
We'll see what they're willing to do. So then, obviously, you have the racer of the day. We both have Hulkenberg,
rookie.
which we could have said, and then rookie of the day.
Yeah, you got to go. I mean, only 2 rookies finished the race. Ollie Behrman shit the bed in practice. And basically,
but barely.
But he did finish the race.
Didn't wreck.
I mean, this kid spun out. He passed Nico Hulkenberg, spun out during the race at one point. Maintains, Hulkenberg passes him, and then he passes him again, pretty much getting to P4 by the end of the race.
I mean, obviously, as a Mercedes, it's a better car, but for him to pass Nico and to stay, I mean, that's...
No.
After spinning out in the rain as a rookie, you could have almost said that he is not only the rookie of the day, but he's the racer of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great performance.
You put him in, and that could, you put him, if maybe on a dry track, there's a potential he could have maybe possibly got on the podium. So, and he still has, I think, 2 more races, maybe 3, to be the youngest driver to ever get on a podium. It's a race win.
Youngest
he
needs
a race win.
Yeah.
Verstappen still has the
And that's going to be
youngest.
tough, as well as McLaren's running and Verstappen. But I mean, that's for him to finish almost on the podium. And then I think you could throw a little cred to Stroll. Obviously, we're not big Lance Stroll fans, but we got to throw for him finishing 6th.
Yeah, he's not a rookie, but yeah, we'll give him
I'm saying for the racer
of the day.
Yeah.
Okay, I can give him
some accolades.
Yeah, him and Albon too.
Albon, yeah. I keep forgetting about him. I said it earlier. We forget about him. Now, for the turd of the day.
Yes, the ass driver of the day.
And you could give it to Hajar.
You could, but
he's not even making it through formation. But let's not kick the young kid while he's down. Let's have some hope. And you have other rookies.
To me, this is like I said it before, he is the unrookiest rookie of them all.
Yes. The fact that he's still a rookie, I can't believe. It doesn't even make sense to me.
Yeah.
I've heard about Lawson for, it seems like 2 years now.
And then you get a shot and you're put inside of a Red Bull alongside world champion Max Verstappen. You can't get out of Q1.
Right.
And then you can't pass
anybody.
Ocon for almost the whole race, and then ultimately end up DNFing. So I mean, that's not gonna fly. I feel bad. He's gonna have to step up, because I know he's gonna race this year.
Yeah.
But if he does nothing, if he's the next Sergio Perez, he's gone.
Well, and you say, you have other guys like Hajar and Doohan. He's in a Red Bull. If you're in a Red Bull, a Mercedes, a Ferrari, a McLaren, your expectation is him as a rookie. If we gave you that chance, you're in the right car. You need to put it together.
If Max Verstappen is putting that Red Bull in second place, you need to be at least in the points.
Yeah.
Actually, every race, Red Bull expects him to be in the points. And 10th is really not good enough.
If they didn't expect that, why would they have gotten rid of Perez?
Yeah.
Perez was he usually finished like 8th to 12th. Close to those points almost every time.
Yeah, and then he started crashing.
But speaking of that, how do you think he feels about this? Do you think he's snickering at home right now?
Absolutely.
He's like, you wanted this young pup instead of me? How did he do?
Yeah.
Race 1.
Worse than I would have done, possibly. Maybe not. He might have actually he might have crashed on the formation lap.
Regardless, they both would have crashed, and you get no points, so what's it matter? It's semantics at this point.
Oh, man. It was, to me, if I'm going to rank that race out of 10, though, there was a period in the center, or in the middle of the race, that it's like there were 10 seconds. The two McLarens were 10 seconds ahead of Verstappen. I think actually ultimately got to 16 seconds.
Yes.
The gaps were getting huge. The rain really helped to give it a lot more excitement. Unfortunately, it didn't help Piastri too well, the rain.
Yeah.
It didn't help a couple other drivers. It definitely helped Hülkenberg.
Yeah, yes, because he snuck up. He was in like 12th until that chaos at the end that snuck him up to 7th. But that's a good point. I think it had the chance to be a very boring race.
It could have been.
If there was no rain. But boring sometimes shows domination. And I think McLaren, the way they were dominating in the middle of the race when the rain stopped and it was dry and it's just go race, and they're pulling together, they're only maybe 2 seconds apart from each other, but they're starting to pull away from Max as a team. That's telling for the rest of this season.
I mean,
or at least the first part of it.
I would say the first 6 to 8 races, as of right now, it looks like those McLarens are going to be dominant.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just what I see.
And Max said it. He said that the Papaya's got the fastest car right now, and it's not Red Bull. So I don't know. Real quick before we go, best team of the day.
Best team of the day, Mercedes, by far.
That's what I thought you were going to say, McLaren, because your boys, but Mercedes, finishing 3-4, the rookie coming up there.
If Piastri didn't have his issue, it would have been McLaren, but it has to be.
Okay, Mercedes. And worst team of the day.
I would say between Baby Bulls, but I'd have to go Haas.
I'm on Haas as well.
Yeah.
I didn't want to kick Hajar and Yuki anymore with the Baby Bulls, so I think Haas. Both guys finished the race, but what's the point? If you're going to finish 13 and 14, you may as well wreck out and get an early day.
They stayed at the bottom the whole time. At least Baby Bulls had a driver that qualified in 5th.
Yeah.
So you do have that as your win.
Well, next week, we'll split this apart and we'll do our little top 5
on
a different show. But this was a little long-winded, but you can tell how excited we are to be back for this season.
Oh, round
next
1.
Week. Love ya.
Follow us on YouTube at the United States of F1, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at United States F1. Copyright Brugman Media Limited 2025.